And speaking of EVs, here's a CNBC-TV18 exclusive. Rajeev Chaba, the CEO Emeritus of MG Motor India, expect to seal an EV joint venture with the JSW Group within the next few weeks. As per the deal, JSW will pick up a 35% stake in MG Motor India, which is owned by Chinese car maker SAIC Motor. In an exclusive conversation with Parikshit Luthra, Chaba said JSW will provide scale and help in expanding retail footprint. Chaba also dismissed concerns around slowing EV sales. He believes the industry is a victim of over-expectation.
Nowhere EV sales are slowing down. You know, you can talk about different growths. So as an example, versus expectation of 80% growth, the growth is 60%. Versus in India, suppose the expectation was 100%, it's 80%. So I think the whole this story, EV, is a victim of headlines created earlier. You know, as an example, like yesterday's story that in Europe, in the luxury car market, 60% of the luxury car, premium car market is EV and PHEV. 60%, we couldn't have imagined a few years back. In America right now, the percentage has gone up to 15 to 20% penetration. In China, it is 35 to 40%. New energy vehicles, which is EV and PHEV. In India also, the numbers are growing by almost 80-90% every year. So I would say that this narrative is wrong, where we are talking about EVs slowing down. Yes, if suppose we were expecting, as an example in India, 30% penetration of EV by 2030, it may not be 30%, it may be 20%, it may be 18%, but that's a huge growth from 1.5% of last year.
In terms of your own outlook and the pace of adoption, have you recently trimmed your outlook?
We haven't. I was talking about the industry numbers in general, but we haven't trimmed any outlook. We remain very optimistic and we remain committed because that's the right thing for the country, that's the right thing for the environment, and consumers also want compelling EV products.
Right. Now, coming to the big announcement that came in about the CCI, the Competition Commission, approving the JV between the JSW Group and MG Motor India. What is the status of the joint venture as of now? When do we expect things to begin?
So, you know, we are almost there. As you know that we came out with a press announcement a few months back about definitive agreement, so it's public. And we are proceeding pretty well. Within few weeks' time, hopefully we should be able to give that news of conclusion.
All right, so we recently got an invite for the 20th of March about a big announcement. Is that going to be the big day for the announcement of...
We welcome you to that event, Parikshit, and we will talk about the details on 20th.
Okay. Give me a sense of how things are changing at MG Motor India as a result. You're going to be partnering with a very big Indian manufacturer. How are things changing and how do we expect the group to change?
See, at this point of time, frankly, it's slightly premature for me to talk about that. Only thing is we are very, very happy to join hands with that big group. I think on this solid foundation of MG, what we have created, I think we need now aggressive expansion and scales to happen, and that's what our partner is going to provide. So we are pretty excited about it. Team, whether it's dealers or employees, are pretty excited about it, and more details we'll talk about it very soon.
Now, in terms of your expansion plans, you have a capacity of 80,000 units right now at your Halol plant. In the next few quarters, are you also looking at a expansion of your retail footprint in the country, your touch points as well?
So our capacity is approximately 100,000 plus right now, so slightly more than 80,000. And the way our retail plans are and this year's growth plans are, obviously it calls for more expansion on the retail side. So you are right, we are going to expand our footprint and touch points not only in tier 1 and tier 2 markets, but also we are getting into tier 3, 4 and semi-urban areas now. So we have an aggressive plan. We would increase the footprint by approximately 50% by the end of this year.
50%. So how many dealership outlets do you have right now? How much would you like to take it to?
So we have approximately 350 touch points as of now. We should go to more than 500 plus touch points by the end of this year.
And is this also going to be supported by the JV?
So this is MG India's plan, and obviously when the JV happens, growth can only be accelerated.
Absolutely. Now, in terms of the Halol plant capacity, as you grow more, there will be a time when you need additional capacity. So will that additional capacity come from your partner?
Yeah, so this is all part of the proposed JV, and again, growth expansion, new product introduction, and everything is part of the JV plan, which hopefully we should be able to share in a few weeks' time.
Well, that's Rajeev Chaba of MG Motor India. From one newsmaker to another, the